She comes across like diamonds, diamonds, easy in love when the lights are low. She comes into focus, focus, the closer she gets, the more I know. She takes more whiskey than my wine,
We have the afternoon sun shining in on the wall of empty containers that once contained whiskey. And I'm going to try something from a distillery that is one of my favorites based on what I've had from them. Um, Glen Garioch produces a 12-year-old single malt whiskey bottled at 48% alcohol by volume that is superb. They also have um, an age statement single malt, also bottled at 48% alcohol by volume, which is just lovely. Even though it has no age statement on it, it is delicious. I love it. They also have a virgin oak matured whiskey um, that I think is bottled at 50%. It's been a while since I've had it. Last time I had a Glen Garioch was maybe a year ago, and it was a 12-year-old because that's what I could find. Imagine my surprise and delight when I got to a store that I hadn't been going to for much, and I went into the back room. Basically, it's up the stairs, and that's where they have the single malts, and they have single malts from all over the world. They have Irish whiskey up there, and they have Taiwanese whiskey and whiskey from Japan and whiskey from India and all kinds of places. They also have a lot of Scotch. And they had one section there where they had this Glen Garioch Renaissance, 15 years old. Now I was reading up on the box. That was the extent of my research. I read up on the box, and it said that the Renaissance, when Glen Garioch opened up after being closed, was in 1997, and this is some of the first distillate around that time. So I'm imagining it was bottled in 2012, and so that's like 8 years ago. There are 4 chapters to this Renaissance series. There's a chapter 1, which is 15 years old. That's this one. There's a chapter 2, which is 16 years old. A chapter 3, which is 17 years old. I have all of those. I'm still looking for the chapter 4, which is 18 years old, and it doesn't seem to be available in Canada. I did a Google search and I couldn't find it. Well, maybe it will pop up someday. I don't know. It was bottled, I'm guessing, in 2015, so 5 years ago. But the store where I got this doesn't have it. They have the chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3, but not the chapter 4. And it's 15 years old. I'm going to pour a dram first before I read the extensive notes that are on the box. There's not much on the bottle. First chapter in a 4-part series, 4-part story. Single malt Scotch whiskey, 15 years old. Okay. Showcasing Glen Garioch's deliciously different house style following its reawakening in 1997. First chapter in a 4-part story reveals the spirit's character at 15 years old, rich and full-bodied with fruit and spice. Well, we'll see. I know I like the 12-year-old and the non-age statement Founder's Reserve. They're just lovely. Let's pour it around. Nice. 1797 established on the cork. There we are. And this is not weak either. It's bottled at 51.9%. That's nice. There's tasting notes and stuff on there, but I'm going to ignore that for now. Let's see. Okay, Chapter 1. Among the first spirit to be distilled following Glen Garioch's reawakening, this opening chapter is an unfolding story showcases the new house style, now loved by Glen Garioch followers young and old. Okay. Fruity, spicy, mealy to start, robust butterscotch. Okay. After 15 years maturing in bourbon and sherry casks. Okay. There's a bunch of tasting notes and nosing notes on there. Precious few whiskey travelers venture this far east in pursuit of the perfect dram, but those who do never look back. This is your first time in the celebrated granary of Aberdeenshire. There are a few local customs you should know. Firstly, the whiskey and the valley from which it takes its name are pronounced Giri in the ancient Doric dialect still spoken in these parts. Secondly, we have been making our much-loved spirit here in the historic market town of Old Meldrum near Aberdeen ever since 1797. So as well as being Scotland's most easterly distillery, we're also one of its oldest. Glen Garioch, as you are beginning to discover, is a wee bit different. And all the better for it, it says. 51.9% alcohol by volume, 750 mils. Tasting notes. Oh, did I see this part yet? Produced exactly the same way since 1797 in the celebrated granary of Aberdeenshire, Glen Garioch has attracted a small but loyal band of followers. For them, the hearty Highland whiskey, with its wholesome maltiness, honeyed sweetness, and creamy texture, is the peak of perfection. Imagine the raised eyebrows when, awakened from a short slumber in 1997, the distillery produced an uncharacteristically unpeated malt. Would the world stop running? Would the distillery's water supply dry up again? No, the good folk at Glen Garioch have succeeded in creating another masterpiece, remarkably different from the original, but also remarkably good. Released at 15, 16, 17, and 18 years of age, Renaissance charts the fascinating progress of the spirit in the cask. The journey promises to be enlightening. Okay, it's going to be good. I'll probably have all four of them, or at least three of them, open at the same time. Let's see now. 51.9%. This might produce some interesting legs. Let's see. Oh. Yeah, you know, the whiskey sort of oozes down the side of the glass in one great big sheet. Slowly. Slowly. Leaving droplets. Very slowly. Leaving trails of droplets. And yes, legs near the bottom. Smells a bit spicy. Smells a bit like peaches and cream. A little spicy and peaches and cream. Peaches and creme brulee. Peaches and cream. peaches and cream and malt and spice. And this smells lovely. Now I know I am a fan of Glen Garioch. You can tell that it's related to the 12-year-old and the Founder's Reserve. But this is 15 years old, and instead of being bottled at 48%, it's bottled at 51.9%. So it's going to be a little stronger. There's a kind of freshness to it. As well as peaches and cream, I'm starting to get on the nose a little bit of orange. Peaches and cream and orange, and more spice and malt. This is very different. However, I was getting some of that orange, if I recall, from their virgin oak. From their virgin oak bottling. And the reason I only bought the virgin oak once was because it cost twice as much as the 12-year-old. This also cost, I think, nearly twice as much as the 12-year-old. Glen Garioch Renaissance. Okay. $6. $6.00 for goods and services tax, plus $12.00 for liquor tax, plus 10 cents, plus $119.99. That would be $138.09 out the door, including bottle deposit and everything. So it's not cheap. It's about, twice the price of the regular Glen Garioch, namely the 12-year-old and the Founder's Reserve. So we get orange. We had the peaches and cream. Now it's coming in some butterscotch, some toffee. It's changing as it goes. That's a good sign. I'm imagining the mouthfeel being thick and viscous and oily. Yeah. So far, I'm loving the nose of this. There's another sweetness too. Not sure what it is. More toffee. More caramel. More orange. Smells delicious. I'm going to enjoy this, but first I'm going to taste it. Whoa. This is amazing. And this is the neck pour. Let's have another little bit. Okay. On the palate, I'm getting a lot of orange. And then after I swallow it, I'm still getting orange. Still getting orange, and it's lasting a long time. And then there is a spicy finish. The spicy finish is sticking to the sides and all the way to the tip of my tongue, but not in the middle. In the middle is I get orange, but on the sides, it's a spicy, long finish, and it's wonderful. Oh, this is a nice whiskey. This is a very good whiskey. I'm going to add just a little bit of water, not to bring the alcohol by volume down, but just to open up a little bit. Open it up a little bit. We speed up the opening. I could sit here for 15 minutes after opening it and just wait and wait and wait, or I can speed it up by breaking the bonds between the alcohol molecules and the flavors. What little I remember of chemistry. Okay, after the addition of water, the peaches and cream seem to be a lot less in the foreground than they were. I still get a lot of orange. These little mandarin oranges that are easy to peel. You just put your fingernail on it and it peels easy. I'll let you know when I sip it the next time if adding water has made an improvement or if it's not worth doing. Because there was a burst of flavor the first time I tried it. The first sip without the addition of water had a burst of flavor, and it was delicious. A lot of orange and creme brulee and that spiciness. You know, I think that helped it a little bit. I'm still getting a lot of orange. A lot of orange and cream. There's some peach apricot also with the cream. And then there's spice. Spice on the sides and front of the tongue, as it was before when I sipped it neat. Smells like a lot of orange again. Orange and cream. Peaches. And then that spiciness. Spiciness, like there's a lot of wood tannins. I wonder what kind of casks they used. Did it say? There's probably some sherry involved here. Does it say anywhere? fruity, spicy, and mealy to start. Spirit first develops robust butterscotch, apple, malt, and heather notes, which are later joined by pears, honey, malted barley, and creme brulee. Pears? No, I'm getting oranges. Honey? I suppose. I have trouble detecting honey much of the time, but I did mention a sweetness. Malty? Yes, it's malty and creamy. Yes. Okay. Malted barley and creme brulee. We got that. After 15 years maturing in bourbon and sherry casks. Bourbon and sherry. Yes. There's now a full-bodied richness with toffee, citrus peel, and chocolate ginger. Balanced with ripe apricot and spicy sweet orange. Okay. I get the apricot and orange. But I got some toffee, but citrus peel and chocolate ginger. I suppose so. That's where I was getting the spiciness. The spicy. It's amazing, the power of suggestion. When you read this, you go, oh yeah, now I taste it. But going without knowing, without seeing this on the notes, okay. But this is also an neck pour, remember, so it probably will open up with time and give me more flavors as the level of as the fill level in the bottle goes down. But it gave me a wonderful impression. I love this stuff already. I imagine it will develop some complexity. Okay. Tasting notes: rich Highland toffee, creamy butterscotch, chocolate ginger biscuits, and tangy citrus peel lead to honey glazed baked apricots and cinnamon spiced orange, interlaced with smooth malted caramel and barley sugar, with a ginger marmalade on warm buttered granary toast finish. These guys are poets. Now I'm getting some marmalade on the nose. Orange and apricot marmalade. Where at first I was getting peaches and cream. It changes as it goes. Okay. Okay, that spiciness that I'm getting on the sides of the tongue, that would probably be the ginger. Ginger and cinnamon spiced orange. Wow. This is a masterpiece. It's wonderful stuff. If you can find it, I would suggest giving it a try. That is, if you can find it. I might run back to that shop and pick up more bottles. Oh yeah, Slancheva.
Food Quig.
Food quick.
Food quick.
Food Quig.
Food quick.
Yeah.